You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing will beat your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. You're watching Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing will meet your football need. Your football need. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. Sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. Your eyes go see. Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy.
We're here again, another day. The name of the pod is Super Sunday Special, for sure. Lots of great games today. It's about like 3-4 this weekend, the whole weekend actually. El-Classico was yesterday. Arsenal Liverpool was just done. Inter Juve and then 4-4. What an incredible game.
What? 4-4?
And then 4-4. I was watching that one on the side. Yeah, it's been an incredible weekend. Before we jump into our guests, if you're here watching YouTube, Footy Fantasy, so it's FOOTIE Fantasy. You can see the banner at the end. Twitter, Footy AD Fantasy. Instagram, Fantasy Footy. Road to 1K on YouTube. Road to 3K on Twitter. Like, share, subscribe. Engage in the comments. Algorithm is all about the algorithms. That's how we get found by everybody. Like, share, subscribe. Let's dive in. Before we dive in, I guess we'll our guests and hosts at the same time. Hola, Liverpool fan, 2-2. I'm sure you're happy, excited about that.
Happy. Not happy, not excited, but I'll take it. It's draw soup on the Sunday evening. Draw soup on the Sunday evening. I know some people have enough experience with draw soup recently, but we've been winning them. They just have us draw soup, so we're not used to it. So it's not fun. It's not fun.
Just eat you pound the yam. That's what. Just Henry, friend of the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure. I appreciate it.
I guess let's just dive right into the big game that just ended. I think I'll edit it while we're talking. Ended 2-2. I guess is Liverpool's first away game against the top 4 side that finished top 4 last season. Is that am I correct in saying that this season?
Top team that finished top 4. Yes.
Okay. I guess let's start with the home side. Harry, what are your thoughts about the game?
Yeah, they passed the vibe check. I think all season long, what we've accused Liverpool of is just strength of schedule. But at the same time, you can only beat the team that's placed in front of you, right? So they've been effective at showcasing how effective they can be with being ruthless with lesser oppositions. It's a staple for Liverpool anyway. But today was a good test for them, and obviously I think they came up. They came up big. I was, everyone didn't give us a chance. Even EJ, I think over a couple of days before she had posted when she found out about the injuries, she said the game was over. I said, actually, no, I actually thought we were going to win, and you can ask her. And I said, worst case scenario, draw. But during the course of the game, though, I actually thought we were going to lose the game just because of the injuries that played out. There was another group I'm in literally after Gabriel went down. I was like, congrats, Liverpool. And it was still 2-1 at that time. I just thought they had enough firepower. Liverpool, for some reason, they have this brilliance where they can skate through the game, but when it's time to score goals, they know how to score goals. So, in my own opinion, that's what helped them again today. But besides that, I think Arsenal showed the resiliency, the whole bend but don't break. I think it's become a good thing with how Arteta the buys his transfer policy, where you can see the importance and the beauty of having players that can play multiple roles, right? So in my own opinion, that's really what saved us today, because Timber going down, Gabriel going down it's a big problem for us. So I'm just hoping it's a quick turnaround from the injuries. But otherwise, it was a good game.
Okay. Well said. I agreed. Ola, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, very good game. I think Arsenal Liverpool games don't disappoint. I mean, we rarely get goalless games between these teams. I think probably one of the highest scoring fixtures, if not the highest scoring fixture in Premier League history. It's
It is.
just
It was named.
yeah,
It was named the ice.
yeah, highest scoring fixture. Yeah, both teams. You don't. I can't remember the last time I saw a goalless draw in the Arsenal Liverpool. Maybe in the League Cup, not in the league. I think in the League Cup there was one leg that they came and drew at Anfield, and we now won at the Emirates. Yeah, but I went into this game expecting that we will concede because it's Arsenal at home. I mean, even if I was thinking, then I started saying that Arteta was saying Saka might maybe he might have a chance. Like Saka is playing, Saka is playing because it's he was already doing those mind games. I was like, well, Saka is playing, and the reason why Saka was a big factor was you see even in our group chats, Liverpool fans we started noticing Andy Robertson's level is dropping against Chelsea last week. Madueke first half tore him to shreds. So we're like, if Madueke can do that, imagine what Saka will do to him. And it played out. 8 minutes into the game, Saka just skinned him, bang, go. It looked so easy, but I mean that's just top class play. And so we were worried because of that. Like, not because we can't score ourselves. We know we can score, but of course, if Saka is there, man, it's a major threat. So that early goal really shook us. But the fact that I think Timber handled Salah well in the first half also, and we didn't really get much. I mean, first half Liverpool were not great. I mean, Arsenal were clearly the better team in the first half. Liverpool were not great first half. We're playing all these long balls. I think we got spooked by the Arsenal press. The last 2 times we went to the Emirates, the Arsenal press really worked a lot against us. So I could see the logic in, okay, let's just play it long. But we're doing it too much. Like, we had no control that first half. I think when Arsenal went 2-1 up, leading up to that second goal, they had like maybe 8 straight shots without any shot from Liverpool. The graphic flashed up on the screen. They dominated us, immediately after we equalized. So the first half was not great. Of course, they were going to score a set piece goal, but it's good that we managed to score a set piece goal. So, But second half is where everything turned. I think the Gabriel injury was the second half or first half? Gabriel.
Second half.
Second half.
All the injuries were second half.
Second half. The Timber one, I probably suspected Timber won't last because I think Timber had been out injured. I have a feeling maybe he rushed back.
Yeah, it was his first game back in probably like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, so I suspected Timber won't really last, but I think the Gabriel one, yeah, that was a factor. But I'm going to put it out there that Liverpool were missing our best striker because Jota has always been the one starting up front all season. And Jota has a fantastic record against Arsenal. So we too were missing Jota and we're missing Alisson. I know because Kelleher is a good backup, people think we don't miss Alisson. We do miss Alisson. We do miss him, especially one-on-ones. He's kicking out and all of that. So we too, we had our own, little niggles here and there. But the equalizer, wow. That was just fantastic football. I mean, Trent didn't have a great game, but for him to spot that run from Nunes and then Nunes crossed it for Salah. And Salah scored this normal goal against the big. I think they said his record against the top teams is like so far ahead of everybody. It's because these big games is like definition of big game player. So I wasn't surprised to see Salah score. But I'm going to agree with Henry on one thing he said, the resilience of the Arsenal team. I mean, there's been so much thrown at them over the last few weeks. Yeah. Like injuries, suspension, all of this. And they still managed to hang in there, So I was a bit disappointed. Okay, we didn't get the win, but I would have taken a draw before the game, to be honest. I would have taken a draw. So 2-2 was fair. I mean, Arsenal were the better team first half, Liverpool better team second half. In my opinion, 2-2 was the right result.
Yeah. I kind of agree in the sense that, I think the game was very balanced. First half was more all Arsenal. Second half was Liverpool. I do think, though, Slots made changes that looked like they took over the game. But I don't know if I agreed with the change of Diaz for Gakpo. That change was like, and I'm not sure about that change as much. But yes, I agreed with taking on. McAllister was getting bullied by Declan Rice in that midfield, so that was very clear and very obvious. So they had to take him off. I think also the long ball thing, just a few points. I think what they were trying to do was to isolate Diaz with Thomas Partey. But they were just not, the balls were not connecting well enough. And Partey really did well, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to have a lot of trouble with Diaz. So Partey did very well. Same with Salah. I thought Salah was too wide in the sense like he wasn't getting into that half spaces that he likes to operate, And second half, I thought he got more influential in that game. The runs that Nunez was making, you could see that he twitched a little bit. Nunez was now the one starting wider, while Salah was the one making the runs inside. So I think those changes changed everything. Oh, look at him. So I think overall, yeah, it was a very good game. You could see that these are two teams who, at the end of the season, will be there or thereabouts for like the title. I think so. And it's still very early. We're just about to play 10 games now. But I think you could see that, injuries, without too much injuries, you can see these two teams will be there or thereabouts. Those are my thoughts. Henry, if you had to give a man of the match, who's your man?
That's interesting. That would be a tough one.
It is.
Because while this would be a tough one. I would say, even though he didn't have his best game, but there were some key things he did in controlling the game, considering he was playing in a position that I still don't like him playing. I would say Partey.
Yes.
For me.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Ola, who do you think is your, if you can talk?
Well, for Liverpool, I'll come to Liverpool, but I want to say I agree. Also, Partey was what's in my mind for Arsenal, and it's just in relation to your point about Diaz. Many Liverpool fans coming into this season actually probably wanted Diaz gone. If we had gotten a good offer for him, we would have sold him. The reason being, yes, that's why when Liverpool were linked with Anthony Gordon, many Liverpool fans were like, "Yeah, let's sell Diaz and get Anthony Gordon." The reason is Diaz is great. He's good on the ball. He's good at running, but his end product was very questionable. His end product is not worse. It's still the reason why people got a bit deceived was his start to the season where he scored like 5 goals in 5 games. But in the last 5 games, he has regressed to his mean. He has regressed to his running, beating people, but not getting any assists, not getting any goals. Today, in the second half, the only one time he managed to escape Partey, he knocked Partey, and instead of him to just cut the ball back, he took on another player and then clashed into David Raya. That is typical Diaz for you. That is typical Diaz. Very good at dribbling, but no end product. So that's just the second part to your point about why did Slot take him off. I think maybe Slot took him off a bit too early, but I would have taken him off anyway. Because even though Gakpo is not flashy, Gakpo is more of a tactical player. He has more end products, so to speak. But Partey did a good job on Diaz also. So I will agree with Partey as man of the match. For us, I don't know. Maybe I would say Salah was very good in second half. First half, Salah was not great, but I think he was influential in the second half. He was always a good out ball. There's something Gary Neville always says. Well, I don't agree with everything he said, but he always says Salah plays like a target man on the wing. Anytime Liverpool are in trouble, just send the ball to Salah. Salah will keep it for you. He'll keep it there in the flank. He will hold the ball up. They will bully him, but he'll still hold on to that ball. And it was our out ball because surprisingly, Nunez, we're not really looking for Nunez that much. I think maybe because Gabriel and White did a good job on limiting the space. So we didn't really go long to Nunez that much. But to Salah, we were sending the ball out to him, let him hold the ball, let him bring others to play. So I'll probably give it to Salah. Because not many of our players played great, but it's tough. It's a tough game. It's Arsenal away. For us, that's our second toughest away game of the season. I mean, in recent years, Arsenal away is like second toughest. Then City is, of course, the toughest. So a draw is not bad, and I think Salah will probably be my man of the match.
Oh, Liverpool, okay. Mine for Liverpool is actually Konate. I thought he was
incredible. Good job.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
good job.
They were
getting to help Trent a lot with Martinelli because Trent was struggling a little bit with Martinelli, So I thought Konate was all the last-minute tackles, going there, accelerating, like winning all the ball back. He was playing almost like Van der Ven, like that's his speed. Just accelerating and getting the ball. So yeah, I thought it was extremely good in defense, winning all the headers, blocks. Good job. I think Konate was really good for Liverpool.
Yeah, I concur. There were a couple of one-on-one duels that I thought Martinelli had the pace, but he used his body well to shield the ball. And he was extremely effective today.
Yeah, he's so crucial for them.
But I think we can say the biggest winner for today for this match was Man City, obviously, because now they're on top again. And man, I don't know when they're going to get off the top of that table. Even without Rodri, without KDB, these guys are on top of the league again. I'm just sick of them. I'm sorry, I'm sick of them. Like, how can you be missing KDB and Rodri and you're still on top of the league? Come on, what's wrong? Guardiola, please just retire. Guardiola, just go. leave us, please.
They have to
it was the same thing I was telling Aya before the show started. I was like, I don't know, because my joy initially, well, not my joy, but I was happy finding out that they won't have Rodri for a prolonged period of time, right? So I thought, okay, this season at least let one coach at least say, okay, I want Pep before he leaves. But man, it's looking like he has got to concoct some things, So I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a peculiar task. So let's just see how it evolves.
I mean, I think they have issues. I'm very honest with you. I think they have issues. When I watch them, they have issues, right? And I think they've played their kind of schedule so far, right? They're about to get a tough schedule, right? When they play Spurs, Brighton, play Liverpool. I think personally, I think they have a lot of issues and they can go that. And I think if they do not, and that's just my thoughts. Might be wrong. Who knows? Pep is Pep. You can always figure something out. But I think they cannot get a DM in January. I don't see how they overcome Rodri void. I think either Arsenal or Liverpool over a stretch will be able to get enough points over them. That's what I think. If I'm wrong, I hold my hands up. Like, okay, I guess Pep is undefeated then. Even without player, he's undefeated.
Yeah, that's true. If they don't go shopping.
Yeah, I don't see how they overcome that void. Especially when we start, because after November is when I think the league. After that November,
exactly.
That's when the league really starts. When you start playing those games every 3 days, like Premier League games, not Europe. I'm talking of Premier League games.
Yeah.
When those games start. Yeah,
that's why I'm scared. Because they're not really playing great now, but typical City from January, that's when the league really starts. January, they just start stringing those wins, 10 wins in a row, 11 wins in a row, 12 great. So that's why I'm scared that they're not playing well and they're already top. So imagine when January now comes, when KDB is back, and maybe Pep will just figure something out with their defense. So that's why I'm a bit worried that this guy is already on top again, and they're not even playing great. Because you're right, Ayo, you're right, they're not playing great, but they're still top of the league, So, and January is coming when they actually kick into gear. That's my worry. That okay, by December, January, this is when these guys just start their 12-game unbeaten run, 12 games in a row. They start winning. So that's the worry for me.
Chances. I guess that's the crucial point. Actually, I wanted to hit the point. They are giving up chances to everybody, which unlike City, they gave up chances to Southampton, to Wolves. Those are teams that are bad. Those are really bad teams. Then they are giving up chances to them. So that's why I'm like, if nothing changes with this giving up chances, it's not sustainable. I think they're giving up big chances every game. I'm watching every game. Fulham the other day should have beaten them. Wolves, like they give up 3-4 big chances per game. I'm like, this is weird. This is not City. Like when the City not playing well is winning 2-0 and giving up one half chance. That's City not playing well. That's when they don't play. They win 2-0. They give up one weird chance, but overall control the game. But I'm seeing too many big chances they are giving up. And I think that will come back and bite them very soon if they don't fix it up. I think this game we can gloss over again. We might not even need to talk about this game. Do we need to talk about it? We can just gloss over this game. Let's move on to El-Classico. More interesting games to talk about. Okay, I'm joking.
But I didn't watch it, so I really need your opinion. Actually, I've not even seen the highlights. So I just heard there was controversy about the penalty. So I'm sure the penalty was big. Yeah,
I can even just start off. I don't even. Again, I'm sorry. We have crazy referees in the Premier League. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Even our games, you can tell there were some weird questionable calls in that game.
Yeah.
Like just the inconsistencies. Again, I might be wrong. I don't know how that was a penalty. Yeah, I've watched it 3 times. That last and I'm like, what is this VAR person seeing that I'm not seeing?
Michael Oliver. They said it was Michael Oliver. My friend.
Our best friend. He's United's best friend. He makes a lot of dirty calls against us. So my thoughts. I'll talk about the game. I think this game should have been done and over in first half. we had chance after chance. Dalo's one, of course, that's one of the biggest misses we've ever seen ever. It should have been done on the one. That's on the players. The first half is totally on the players. We had chance. Dalo had a big chance. Hoyland had a big chance. Garnacho got into good positions where he should have cut the ball back. He's just taking poor shots as always. But that's just Garnacho. He does that, that's his game. His game needs to get refined over time. But then second half, like we always do, West Ham made changes. They took out, if I remember, they took out Paqueta, who was playing horribly. Took out Paqueta, took out Mavropanos, your former boy, Henry. And who was the third person they took out? Carlos Soler. They brought on Souček, brought on Somerville, and brought on Todibo. And the game changed, especially bringing on Somerville. They had runners now on both sides, Bowen and Somerville. And they were just more energetic, like, oh, we survived this first half and we didn't concede goals. When it should have been like 2 or 3 goals down.
3.
The game changed second half. We just started playing nonsense in the second half. Absolute nonsense. And of course, we concede. Typical United in transition. And then we start playing again. Then we equalize. Yeah, and that penalty call that was a terrible call. But I'm going to, not just because me, I think he should not be there anymore, but like the second half, he didn't manage that second half well. Like, you could see, and this is not the first time Ten Hag does this, like every manager reacts to what he's doing and he just keeps running the same thing. There's no reaction from him. I'm like, bro, they've changed something. Like, what are you going to do? He just keeps running the same thing. Because Eriksen, clearly, right? Eriksen has become a passenger because that's Eriksen. Off the ball, out of possession, Eriksen is the liability. And you could see the goal. You see the cutback. You could see somehow a run off Eriksen to go score the goal. It's like, this is what always happens. But yeah, that was a bad call. 100%. I didn't know what they saw there. I first thought I said soft initially in our group chat. Then I watched it again. I was like, that's not a penalty. Like, what was that? How did this see this call? Anyways, but yeah, I think it's just one of those things where if it rains, it pours, like, and you can see my title says Ineos on Fraud Watch.
I was going to go there.
yeah. It's why is this. There are 2 critical points they could have corrected our season, in my opinion. The first one was beginning of the season, summer. There's no way they should have given Ten Hag that extension. That was a terrible call. Like, literally, we finished 8th, and the underlying stats said we should have finished 14th. Guess where we are right now? Manchester United are 14th right now.
Wow. Oh my God, I didn't know.
We are lucky to finish 8th. That's what the underlying performance. Now, the second time I think they blew it was last international break. It was already obvious. They should have pulled the trigger last international break. Just pull the trigger and, whether it's get Tuchel for a short-term contract and try to save the season.
Tuchel?
Because the season was dead to save. Yeah, short-term contract, like a year or 2.
Tuchel is busy right now.
No, I'm
before England.
Oh, before, okay, I get it.
England, I think they should have gotten him. Should have tried to get him, or get some, if they don't want, or get a what they call temporary coach, just to see how this is. Because right now I think we've blown the season by doing this, because these are like supposed to be like our kind of fixtures, right? Palace, West Ham, Brentford, we only won 1. Now we're going to our rough fixtures. We're playing Chelsea next week, like. So that's why they're my fraud watch. I mean, those are my thoughts. Before we go to the comments quickly, Bayo says United paid for their wastefulness. Dalo and Garnacho especially. Yep, that's not a penalty in a million years. Yep, that was terrible. I can only blame the ref so much. First half should have been 4-0 at halftime, but United has been wasteful. Again, you put yourself in position for Michael Oliver to decide the game. For you, that's between you and that's you and your God. Yep. ETS post-match assessments are always off. At this point in his tenure, we should know his pattern and style of play. But it's still very difficult to understand how he sets his team up and how he likes to play. I think people always say that pattern and style of play thing a lot, right? And I think that's not even the problem. I think the style of play is just crap. It's obvious. It's just crap.
For me,
it's easy to play against. Like, it's easy to play against. Like, I've said this for the last year or so. United is very easy. It's very easy to understand when you look at us. We are but the thing is,
but the thing is, there are some games you see that okay, this guy had a plan and he executed it. But I don't know, did he look his way to some of those results? Because I mean, he beat Man City in the final, in the FA Cup final. And one-off game. Okay, so he's a top manager. It's a cup manager, so to speak. Yeah, it's a cup manager. Because for me,
when people say cup manager, right? You are talking of the inferior cup manager. Because people say that and I smile. So if you want to rank where United should be performing, right? Premier League, right? Number one, Champions League, and Europa. Say, okay, if you fall out of champion, whatever, Europa. In those three tournaments, brother, his record is abysmal. And
yeah,
it's
true.
cups. We have one win in 11 games in Europe. One win.
Yeah, over a year since his last win in Europe.
So
Yeah,
and that over a year includes what? The inferior Europa is there. Champions League is there. Like, when people say that, I always think like, I think when they say the cup manager, are they watching what we are watching? Because they're
do you know what makes me laugh? Like me, okay, because me, I always try to be a bit balanced. I say, okay, this guy, okay, well, he has won 2 trophies. Maybe it's not that bad. But what drives me towards the other side of the scale are his comments. His comments border on now. His comments are bordering on like self-delusional. Like the scale is now moving to self-delusion. I mean, before he gets Fenerbahce, he said, me and Mourinho we've won many trophies. I was like, look at this guy. He said, me and Mourinho won many trophies. And then yesterday, I think they said they were interviewing him. They said, oh, the match that you guys lost to Spurs. He said, no, that one doesn't count because the red card got overturned. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he talking like this? Like he's
Ten Hag's comments are not for the fans, not for the Ten Hag's comments are for the. He's like a politician, right? He's like political rally comments. Like his comments are for his next employer, whoever that is. He's pretty much solidifying the ground for excuses to say the reason why he did not work out. Like I don't listen to his pressers.
Man. No, some of his comments are just outrageous. You'll be like, yeah, in my mind, I'll be like, man, you're not helping yourself. You're already under pressure, and you're talking you're just giving off all this kind of like nonsense comments. Like, how can you be saying me and Mourinho we won many trophies? Like, come on. It's like somebody says like, oh, me and Brad Pitt we have fine face. Like, come on. You cannot be finest past finest now, you know. Like seriously.
Me and Mourinho should never be in the same sentence with ETH. I beg. Hey, he's got
exactly.
Dio says ETH is a true cent to pay for Man United since in those Ferguson years. His team always played well. Yeah, I mean, I think enough said. I think that's why he was on forward watch to me. I feel like, indecision paralysis that's got to the point. It's what somebody called sunk cost fallacy. This sunk cost at this point, it's like you lose more by being indecisive than making a bad decision. That's kind of where we are now. We lose. They've stuck in this. They want to kick it down the road because that's what everybody's saying. They're kicking the can down the road so that they can, whatever, come up with strategy on how United wants to be, what our pattern of play. At this point, you are just throwing away another season. You are also playing with the risk of player development. That's what we always forget. Like players.
Quick question, Quick question. Sorry to cut in, but just based on the emails. So, what's your view? Because in my view, I think maybe they're still trying to sort out the backroom stuff, the background stuff. Maybe that's what their focus is on. I not that I agree with that, but I mean some of the moves they've been making in the background. Okay, let's get the structure behind. Let's get that one set up first. Then we'll now start. Do you think that's what they are doing? Because the indecisiveness, like you said, maybe it's because they are thinking, let's get that one sorted in the background first. Let's get the backroom sorted, everything, structure put in place. Let's cut costs there. Let's cut costs there. Let's do that, and then we will now focus. Do you think that's what they are doing, or is it just that they don't know what they are doing yet?
No, I think that's possibly what they are doing. But the mistake they are making is in team building, in building winning teams, everything is important. Recruitment is important. The person that is coaching them is important. Sport science all is important. You're like the synergy between the CEO, the director of football, the manager is important. Everything is important. So an important piece in what they are trying to fix, they've overlooked it due to an FA Cup win or whatever reason it is. Whether it's like, we don't know what we want to be yet. It seems like that's what it is. They don't want to perform playing style, because that's what Ratcliffe kept telling us now when they were going through the process of trying to buy the stake, that we want to have a playing style, then we hire a manager and recruit to it. Like, it feels like they were all buzzwords, right? Because that's the first thing they should have got situated quickly. That's the thing all the time they were ratifying the process last year. That's what they should have done. They should have so that by the time they get to the summer, it's already clear on the type of style of football they want to play, right? Because we know that Ashworth was working in the background. Come on, that gardening leave was BS. He was working in the background. They could have sorted all of that in the background. They could have done that and come clear and come into the season and say, oh, okay. Because the thing is, if Ten Hag was performing like what's his name was the Emery. Let me not even say Emery. Let me talk a team that have big flaws. Spurs. Spurs have big flaws. They have big flaws, right? But at least in the league specifically, you could say attacking wise, they are very good. And their pressing is typically very good. But they have big flaws defensively. Obviously, they do. So even if it was like we're performing like that, I can see the sense and say, you know what, let's just hold our fire for 1 year. Let's leave this guy there. We can see a vision close to what with this person. But not what we are watching with Ten Hag. If you watch the games, if you actually watch the games and not do the trophy thing that people like to do, if you watch the games over the last 1 year, it's been horrific for a year and a half.
Taliban football.
Yeah, it's been horrific. So yeah, those are my thoughts. That's all I had about this. So just said they're trying to save money. If they get rid of him, that's 15 million plus cost to bring in a new manager. If they had gotten rid of him last summer, it would have been 7-8 million. But they now trigger that 1 year extension that they did not need to. it makes no sense. That was a horrible decision. Horrible decision. Yeah. And they're paying for it now. So hey, all of us go sit down there to chop the L together. El-Classico. Wow. This one was fantastic. Ola, I know you watched it, so I'll let you speak on this one.
Well, I didn't watch the whole game. I was in and out. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Hansi Flick, he managed to exercise two sets of demons within a week, Bayern Munich and Barcelona. And I'm not surprised because he's a good manager. Yeah. And by the end of the day, we can also say Madrid did not take their chances, specifically Mbappe, who for some reason maybe doesn't understand the offside rule. I don't know why he kept getting caught offside. And then the ones when he was not offside, he was missing those. But the ones that he was not offside, he was scoring. So I was like, oh, that's also crucial. Like their chances, they didn't stick it away. But Barcelona were good value for their win. Very good value for their win. The manager has gotten the best out of those young players because let's not pretend there's some really young players in that team and he's getting the best out of them. Yeah. Because Lewandowski is back on like really elite level, still banging away the chances. Some people were saying maybe 4-0 flattered them. I wouldn't say it flattered them. I think they were good value for that 4-0. At the end of the day, you take your chances and you win 4-0 at Independable. It was good. Madrid, of course, always you would think there's always a chance they might come back, like I always say, black magic. When it was 2-0, I was like, Madrid, they still have a chance. When it's 2-0, they can still come back. But 3-0, 4-0, no way. They ain't coming back from this one. No black magic can save them today. No eyebrow raising can save them from Carlos.
Maybe we should start Ancelotti on fraud watch. Should we put
come on. Don't go there. But they've had a bad start to the season. Bellingham has dropped off. His levels have dropped off. The right back, they're missing Danny Carvajal. Of course, that is a big player for them. They're missing that guy. They have a couple of injuries, but I mean, they should be doing better. They should be way better. We have Benvido coming to serenade us with Barcelona.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Good. Let's see your face. And when you talk, you don't want to see.
No, man, I'm a work man, so I don't want to draw too much attention. You know, I was telling you earlier. I had to come trying to steal some money. Barcelona trying to steal some money on a Sunday.
Okay, tell us your thoughts. What are your thoughts about the game?
Oh yeah, to be honest, man, like I like to be positive when it comes to the Classico. I mean, this was actually the first Classico in a long time where I'm like, oh man, like like my heart was racing. Like, oh, this is gonna be a good one. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, I was gonna be okay with a draw, with a tie, because I thought the way Barcelona played against Bayern Munich, yeah, I mean that took off like 5 years of my life, man.
High line.
Yeah, that defensive high line, that's like a suicide, I'm like, we better not do this against Mbappe or Vinicius. We're gonna be killed, But then after the first half, I started realizing that maybe if we make a change in the midfield, if we take off Fermin Lopez and bring in Danny Olmo or Frankie De Jong, but I wasn't sure Frankie De Jong was fully fit. He's been out for a few months now. I think Frankie De Jong was I've been very critical of him. I don't think he has taken a step forward to become a world class footballer. But I think yesterday he came in and changed the game. I think after you could see Barcelona were more composed in the midfield. They were controlling the tempo more. And I mean it was a satisfying victory. I haven't seen Barcelona dominate Madrid that way, especially in the second half. Since Messi or since Neymar and Suarez then were there. So it was kind of good to see that we back to compete at the highest level. With a bunch of La Masia kids, dominating the midfield. That kid Pedri, as long as he stays, I can't speak so much for Pedri right now. I want him to be fit, play at least 10 consecutive games. I think that kid is the closest thing we have seen to Iniesta in a while. But he can't stay safe to save his life. And the 17-year-old, the Kubarsi, I think we speak so highly of Lamine Yamal often. I mean, he deserves all the praise. He's a kid. Hopefully, he stays injury free and can have a good career. But the 17-year-old center back, Kubarsi, man, yeah,
He was good.
yeah, that kid is a beast, man.
He was good.
That kid is a beast. And we have a washed up old man in Hugo Martinez holding up the line against Mbappe and Vinicius. But I mean, I know, it's football. It's all about moments, right?
Yeah.
You're in a good moment, you take advantage of it. But I think Madrid, when it comes around December, January, yeah, if they hit the second gear, they're gonna be, um, you know, a team to be feared. I just don't think they're gonna continue to be playing poorly.
Yeah.
So it's just up to Barca to continue to maintain these gaps and to take advantage of Madrid is going to a slump. Because once they hit the gear, boy, oh man,
Yeah.
you know.
They have so much firepower. So if you have to choose a player of the match, maybe who would you give out of all the good people?
I
Who's your
mean, so I can't really say De Jong, although he changed the game, but he only played for 45 minutes. I would say Pedri and the Barcelona's back line. I mean, if I were to single one defender, really, I would say the 17-year-old Kubarsi.
Mercy?
But so it's between Pedri and Kubarsi. But if I have to give the edge, I would give it to Kubarsi because, I mean, it's not, nobody can keep Vinicius quiet. But, I mean, I think he did a pretty good job, holding up the line against, because Madrid is like the best attack in the world. I mean, it hurts me to say it, but those guys. But I mean, Kubarsi had a pretty good game. I think he was the outstanding player. Not
Okay.
But
taking it away from Pedri.
today, though, based on current statistics,
Well, I'm just saying, like on paper. Like I mean, it's like I was
okay,
saying
on
before.
paper.
Like I was saying before. I mean, once they hit the second gear,
Yeah.
I don't think maybe Man City can compete against them, or even Bayern Munich. But I think I think I think Madrid has the best attack. Like every time they have a ball, like if you they're playing against your team, every time they have a ball in your half, it's like something bad is about to happen.
The transition is crazy. The
So,
transitioning talent that they have is crazy.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
it's very remarkable. And Lamine Yamal, we always say like the next Messi, the next Cristiano, the next this. I want us to stop saying that. I just want us to be Lamine Yamal. Because that kid, I mean, if he stays injury free, man, that kid's
He's
gonna be
special.
scary.
He's special. The kid is special. Let's take comments quickly. Bayo says Kylian Mbappe's project is shaky. That defensive performance from Madrid was atrocious. So just say only Ten Hag will have a 4-0 lead and find a way to lose it. It's not about Ten Hag. Yeah, he says Pedri and Kubasi. Okay. He says Yamal also played well. So I just said, Benvido, show your face. You won, so why are you hiding?
This guy now I'm at work, man. I don't want to draw too much attention, so I'm actually in a very, kind of hiding if people don't see me. But
He even says they have the best talent in attack, but team-wise, they need a lot of work. I agree. Henry, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I didn't watch the game, but I caught the highlights.
Okay.
Again, one of my friends who's actually around, his name is Lekon. He was making mention of how Mbappe couldn't make the adjustments of beating the offside trap, right? Because clearly you knew, even just if you had seen the last game they played against Dortmund, like you would know. And then the issue here is that even Mbappe with his pace, I feel like he could have. He just felt like he wasn't reading the game as much as he should. He's the last biggest star they got. So the onus is on him to step up, right? And I think they haven't really figured out how they're going to really integrate him into the team yet, and it's affecting Jude. So you don't even see Jude being as effective as much as he was last season. So it's like a carryover effect now, where yes, they know they can turn it up a notch whenever they need to, but the problem is that's not sustainable, right? After a while, teams are gonna figure you out, right? Maybe Barcelona is showing the template now, right? Dutchman actually showed us a little bit the glimpse, and it's almost like Barcelona is like, let me see something real quick, and they ran away with it. So, but I still think they'll turn around, they'll figure it. They still have enough time to figure it out. The question is, how fast can they figure it out?
Yeah, I mean,
let me just say,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I was gonna mention Madrid. I mean, as you guys already pointed out, but I mean, they have a real loss in Dani Carvajal. I mean, if they do not find a right back to replace him in January, they might have a tough time going forward, because Luka Vasquez is good. I mean, he's a good backup. If you need to give rest to Carvajal in the league game, they're playing at home. But I don't think he can sustain the level of intensity. I mean, if you look at Madrid goals yesterday, I mean, I think three, if not four of them, came from Luka Vasquez side. So if they don't fix that, they might have a severe problem going forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jayo says bad company ruined our run versus Barcelona.
That's it. Bayern Munich fan. I just want to say, I don't want to jinx anything, because Liverpool are playing Madrid in the Champions League again this season. So all you guys, I feel free to fire shots at Madrid. I'm going to keep my powder dry, because Madrid, they've showed us strong thing too many times. Liverpool have lost too many times to Madrid. They lost 5-2. The last time they came to Anfield, they smashed us 5-2. We were 2-0 up. 2-0 up in that match, and they smashed us 5-2.
Just like Dortmund.
So I was like, I'm not even going to take too many shots at them. I'm just going to keep my powder dry. Just hope when they come, we can exploit them the way Barcelona exploited them. But I mean, I agree with you guys. There's structural problems there, but hopefully they don't beat us as they normally do in the Champions League.
And the other thing I was going to say, I mean, Vinicius and Mbappe, they're pretty much similar players. They play in the same position. Because if you watch the game, because I watch a lot of La Liga games. There was one game, I think the second game of the season, they were playing against Mallorca. You could see Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo all playing on the left at the same time. I mean, that was kind of weird, and there was no one in the middle. And I think if they could find a striker, and Madrid is Vinicius' team, right? He's won 2 Champions League titles with them. I don't think Mbappe can come and stamp his authority and Ancelotti tell Vinicius to go play on the right, and Mbappe stays on the left. But I think if they somehow find, a proper number 9 that can play in the middle and convince Mbappe to play on the right, I think they can be very dangerous. Because I think for now they just occupy each other's spaces.
Yeah,
quite often.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the other thing they're suffering from tactically when I watch them is, so last season, right, the Bellingham was like their false 9, right, crashing the box, scoring a lot of goals, Now they moved him back to midfield. It almost feels like Bellingham has forgotten how to play like a midfielder now. He's playing almost like a forward in midfield. And they also lost Cruz, of course, which is huge. So now they now have like a very imbalanced midfield. So now that Rodrigo is injured, that might just simply just solve it. Just push Mbappe to the right, play Vini from the left, and just play Bellingham as a false 9, crashing the box. So to create that space, because the space is always jammed up. That's what I see. Like every time they're always in the same spaces, always clogged up. But the midfield part is the one I know they can figure it out enough for La Liga to challenge Barcelona, even if they don't win it. I just think in Europe, that midfield without Cruz will be a problem, especially if it looks like Modric is really going in age now. Like Modric is just contributing every few minutes. In Europe, I think I'm not sure they might be able to figure it out enough to like maybe make a deep run Champions League this season. That midfield is really looks unbalanced. So they might have to go into the transfer window in January. I think they might have to.
Also, I mean, I was going to mention some, despite Barcelona's financial jokes that you guys like to play. I think we've can't say a blessing in disguise, but I think it's forced Barcelona to not go out and spend a bunch of money that we don't need, because even in Barcelona, quote unquote, being broke, I mean, they have the urgency to go buy players. Like we bought Ferran Torres for like $60 million. Dude's professional footballer, all my respect, but I don't think it's at that level to be bought up for that much money. But I think Barcelona being in a financial situation that we're in right now, it has forced us to use the academy players more. Because if you look at yesterday, you got Iñaki Peña, academy, Balde, Kubarsi, then you have all these kids, Dani Olmo. I mean, Pedri cannot be academy because he came there late. And then you have Gavi. I mean, all these guys, that kid, Casado, that kid's going to be a problem. That kid's going to be a problem. And to think at the beginning of the season, he was not even the first choice. The first choice was a 17-year-old kid, Marc Bernal, who tore up his ACL. And this guy came in, it's like, it's not Busquets, but acceptable enough to be playing that role. So, I mean, I think I'm very proud of the team yesterday. I mean, the season is long. I don't think Madrid is going to continue to play this bad. We just have to continue to, if they drop some more points, maybe we just keep building up. That gives us enough room to make mistakes come March, April. Because I mean, they will come back. Madrid will come back. Those clowns never, they just don't disappear.
They never die. I agree. Let's take comments to wrap up, I guess, the section. Yemi says, very correct. Mbappe coming in has affected the team balance. From the right combination of players making an attack, Cavani is the major loss, but the one that is glaring right now is the loss of Cruz. Yep. Dio says Trent audition to replace Cavani. Yeah.
Stop it. I don't like it.
Oh no, they already said they're coming for him though.
Pay him up, pay him whatever he wants. Ola.
Don't mind FSG. Our owners now. Our owners are stingy. Them. They will let him go for free. You don't be surprised. We will lose Salah, we will lose Trent. Van Dijk is probably the only one they're going to keep because they don't want to pay the big bucks. You won't be. You see. Don't worry. Our stingy owners.
Yemi says Mbappe play on drive may not happen. What happens to Rodrigo? Rodrigo is injured. I'm saying while he's injured, they have an opportunity to try it out and see how it works. That's all I'm saying. Just try it out.
The question now becomes, if he works, what happens when he comes back?
Oh, maybe
that's what he's saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what he's alluded to.
He comes off the bench. Madrid's going to play like over 50 games. He comes off the bench. They have to play. Let's remember that Madrid still have to play World Cup Club, right? In December. They have a lot of games.
Because I'm calling it now. I think that's what happens. I'm predicting it.
That he plays on the right.
That this fixes it, and Olinshi is a different side for them, and then Rodrigo being reintegrated back into the team will become an issue.
Okay, that's possible. Dio says, I don't think Mbappe can be effective on the right. They have to sacrifice Bellingham for Mbappe. Vinicius is a much better player than Mbappe. Vini is more skillful and not
much better player. God damn! I mean, that's.
I thought about it too. Like, he's a much better Madrid player. I agree with that.
Oh yeah.
He has been better for the last 1 year, 12 months. Yeah. I agree with that too. But much better than Mbappe. So let's respect Mbappe, please. Let's respect him. Let's respect Mbappe. Rodrigo comes off the bench, question mark. Yep. He was one of their top players last season. He's probably going to win Ballon d'Or. And I think that wraps up the section, right? Have we touched on everything? I think my player, if I had to give a player of the match, I think it was Lewandowski. Maybe.
Old man Lewandowski, big shot Rob.
you know what's big shot Rob?
Yeah, Messi,
last season I was criticizing him that look at Barcelona bought Lewandowski. You see, that's why I don't buy.
While like, Messi, Benzema, Suarez, Cristiano enjoying their retirement, yeah, this dude is still banging goals in the biggest stage. So much respect, man. Much respect to Lewa.
Those 2 goals, the finishing of those 2 goals.
Yeah,
I had to think yesterday. It was a question that came up in my head that currently on current form, like when I say current form, like this season, is Lewandowski the most clinical striker in Europe?
So far this season,
yeah.
You
It's
sure
okay,
over
make
Haaland?
He might be this season. He might be knocking on Haaland. Haaland have missed some big chances.
Well,
Yeah.
Actually thinking about it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan
I'm
missed
not
some
saying that
chances yesterday. Missed like 3 chances yesterday too.
someone free header that he headed last. He was trying to assist. I'm like, what's Haaland doing there? So yeah,
Hey, that's
I just
another
think
one. Hey, that's another one. Once he starts hitting those shots, man, it's over. So enjoy, enjoy, enjoy while he's missing those, man. Because once he starts hitting them, you know what's gonna happen.
yeah, that's true. Patrick says ETH might replace Don Carlo if this heavy loss continues.
Please make it happen, please.
Everybody's touching. I think this dovetails right into this topic. This was, was sent to me by our friend of the show who is also in the comments. Yemi, I love this topic. And I think I'll start with Benvido because I know he probably has to go very quickly.
Yeah.
If you had to, I think this is a social media thing. People always say start, sell, or bench. And you have to give a quick reason why. Just a quick reason. Pedri, Bellingham, or Musiala. And don't use this season. Just use overall, yes.
I would say Pedri, but like I said earlier, I just can't. I think Pedri is the most talented midfielder. Just pure midfielder. Control the game, tempo, passing ability. Although Bellingham is more of like a Frank Lampard type, but I cannot say Pedri right now because he has not played the full season with his feet. Then he can't like convince me, yeah, this dude, man, he stayed fit, man. Like this dude is the real deal. But like, he plays 3-4 games, he gets hurt, he's out for 2 months, comes back, play 5. I would start Bellingham. I would start Bellingham. I just think he's proven more than Pedri. And I would bench Pedri and Musiala. Same thing. I think Musiala is extremely talented, just not very consistent. I watched him at the Euros, man. Like even last year, the semifinal with Madrid. Like players, like extremely talented players, consistent players. Like they may be having a bad game, but there's the one moment, just give him the ball, make something happen. So Musiala, I think, is very inconsistent. So I would say start Bellingham, bench Pedri, and sell Musiala.
Okay. That's very, I don't know, maybe you're playing what they call that thing when you're being extremely harsh because it's your own team. But it's fine. That's fine. That's your call.
No.
That's your call. Ola?
Well, for me, I will not follow the syllabus. So. I'm going to put a bit of spin on it because, I'm going to include swap. So I'll be swapping Pedri. I won't sell him, but I'll swap him for Yamal. I'll swap him because
this guy, I'm sorry to cut you off, and this guy's a typical African politician.
I'm backing you up, Benvido. It's because Pedri gets injured a lot.
He's not following his own instructions.
I just have to think outside of the box, man. I have to think outside of the box. I'm backing you up, Benvido, because Pedri, like you said, his injury record is really, really it's worrying. So I mean, in a realistic situation, I'll swap him for Yamal and keep Yamal, and I'll sell Bellingham, Jude. I'll sell Bellingham and I'll keep Musiala because I think Musiala still has maybe 2 or 3 more levels to go to.
Okay.
For some reason, I think Jude has probably hits his ceiling. I'm not saying he's going to drop, but I think it's not going to get much better than he is now. I think he's going to be like a Lampard kind of player, make late runs into the box. He'll get his goals, but I don't see him improving his technical level past this stage. And I think Musiala is still going to improve. So I'll keep Musiala. I'll sell Jude Bellingham. I know he's a big game player. He scores big goals, but I don't think he's going to get better than he is now.
For the record, Jude is 21, bro.
Oh, not 22, 23. He's 21.
Yeah, he's still very young.
He's not playing peak football yet. He's still learning.
Maybe because he has been playing for so long. For some reason, I thought it was 23. I thought it was 23 or so.
He started playing at 16, 15 for Birmingham City.
Oh, wow. That's why he's been around forever. But I'll still sell him anyway. I think Musiala, I'll still sell him. Because I think the other guys bring more to their game. I mean, like I said, Jude Bellingham is more like a Lampard kind of player. Now, Lampard was a great player, but I just mean in terms of vision, creativity, the other things that people bring into play, I'm not saying it doesn't have it, but I just don't think he has to the other guys' level. So I'll swap Pedri out for Yamal. I'll keep Yamal because I mean that guy is going places. He's 16, 17 is playing like this already. And then I'll keep Musiala and Theo Bellingham.
Okay. Henry, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, me, I'm gonna stick a little bit to the known entities, right? So for me, just because on a bunch of things, I'll start Jude for the leadership qualities. Um, he's also someone who's very consistent, not as injury prone. And for me, the way he adapted quickly, I did not think he was going to adapt quickly in La Liga as fast as he did because of the age he came in. So just because of that, I just his strong physical presence and also his versatility. I think we kind of forget some of the things, or maybe we're forgetting, some of the things, the qualities he possessed. That's why I'll keep him. I'll bench Musiala because I still think he's a very dynamic player. I think he has room to grow too. I don't think he's playing peak football just yet. And I'll sell Pedri just because of the injury record. It's too season in, season out now. He's having limited playing times. So that's the reason why I'll sell him.
Okay, let's take comments and I'll come back. Yemi says Everton are having a very good coach. Flick has proven Zabi wrong since he came in. Yeah, Yemi.
Early days.
Everton are having a very good coach.
Don't
There's a lot
forget
of
that
shade in there,
Xavi won the league, man. I mean, he just came in a very horrible situation, and but he did win the league in his first full season. So,
Yeah.
Dio says Lewandowski missed his fair amount yesterday. Fair, yeah, and he missed it like twice. That's true. Yamal plays a different position, brother. We're talking of midfielders.
Don't start again. This Kochi, you're always coming for me. What do you mean? So Musiala plays a 10. Musiala can also play wide. Bellingham is not always a 10. Bellingham can play as a first 9. Kochi, mind yourself. You're always trying to show yourself.
Dio says, I don't think Musiala has the decisiveness of the others yet. He still dwells on the ball a little. And Patrick, which is going to be my own comment, says Pedri, Musiala, Jude. I think Dio says start Bellingham, bench Musiala, sell Pedri because of injury record.
So I think
I understand the injury record thing.
So I think if he wasn't for injuries, I think Pedri would be the number one option to start for everybody. Because I mean, the reason why people just saying sell him is because of injuries. I mean, that's exactly why. If that guy becomes like avoid getting injuries all the time, that could be a beast, man. Like he's really that good.
I get that. I get the whole injury thing, but maybe it's just my personal bias, because I like watching midfielders a lot. I'm going to start Pedri because the reason why is press-resistant midfielders are a dime a dozen in football nowadays. It is so hard to get press-resistant midfielders that if I was a coach or owner or whatever, like whatever it takes to keep Pedri fit, even if it means playing him here and there into fitness, having a special diet, because what he brings to the game is very hard. Like, for example, look at Arsenal, right? Look at how different and how consistent they've looked since they found a way to keep Partey fit. Partey used to always be injured. I mean, Henry, that's one of Henry's favorite players. But since he has been fit, Arsenal has looked different and very solid in playing out of the back. It's so critical. And Pedri for me is like an all-rounder, right? He can play deep, he can play the 8, he can play the 10. I'll start Pedri because just my personal bias. Second, the person I'll bench is Musiala because Musiala is one of those midfielders, I think, like Ola said, can play wide. He's almost like a forward playing in midfield. The quick skills he has dribbling. And the reason why I'll sell Bellingham is my guy, by the way. Everybody knows Dortmund is my second team. Most people know that. Bellingham is my guy. But the thing Bellingham is, I have a fear that Bellingham is going to be one of those players where they're moving this at a young age. They're moving him around too much, right? Like he came last year, he scored a lot of goals as a false 9, crashing the box. When he started his career, he was a central midfielder for Dortmund. That's what he was playing. So all of a sudden, in England, same thing. He was playing central midfield. But towards the end, anytime you're looking for goals, they push him forward. It's like I have this slight fear that Bellingham might become one of those players that would be a jack of all trades, which is not really a bad thing. sometimes, but he's not going to master any position if they continue this way, by the way, to the point that he'll be elite enough in one position. Like where you're like, oh, what is this guy elite at? You
Okay.
know? And I still like Bellingham, I'm saying. And that's my fear I have for Bellingham. So that's why I would sell him out with 3.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, all are still very young, and I'm pretty sure they will dominate, the midfield for the next 10 years. Hopefully, they all can stay, healthy and injury free, and have successful careers.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Start Pedri, Ben, Musiala, sell Jude. We normally have kudos and donkey of the week. We've come to the end, but I guess we can just do a quick one. We just quick kudos, one donkey. You can't do multiple. If you have to give a kudos and donkey for this week, Ben Vido, what?
I'd say kudos to Flick. I mean, he really came in. I mean, none but love and respect to Xavi, Barcelona legend, probably one of the best midfielders of all time. Came into Barcelona at a hard situation, But I mean, with the same squad that Xavi had last year, even same injuries, because I mean, we playing with our backup center backs, because Araujo and Christensen are both injured. But Flick really came in and changed the whole mentality of the team. We playing much better, and I give my kudos to Flick. If I were to give a donkey, yeah, man, there's Spanish soccer fans, man. Yeah, those clowns, man, they gotta chill with this racist crap, man.
Yep.
I mean, it's not just one stadium; it's all over across Spain, man. Like, it's just, bro, like, people just want to play game, man. Like this, I mean, which I never understood this, man. Like, Madrid they have like 9 players there that are black to start for them. How can you insult another black player when half of your team is black? I just don't understand it.
It's no sense.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it's just. I'm like, if you insulting Lamine Yamal for being black, you insulting Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Bellingham, everybody on your team. Yeah, man. I mean, Spain, when it comes to racism, I mean, I follow a lot of the medias. They try to justify it. Oh, it's just 1-2 people. Nah, man. When it's bad, it's bad, man. When it's bad, it's bad. So those are my donkeys of the day, man. The Spanish soccer fans that go to the stadiums and insult players instead of just enjoying and support the clubs.
Okay, that's a good one. Henry?
Donkey of the day continues to, and for anytime I come on the show, I don't think it will ever change. It's Premier League referees.
You took the donkey from me.
I don't think it has to be something like drastic for it to change. So that's always going to be my donkey, because week in, week out, they prove us right. My kudos goes to the Barca team, right? I didn't expect the 4-0. I think it was a class performance from them. And yeah, it just makes La Liga a little bit more exciting this year, because Madrid they're going to make changes, right? Madrid is not going to remain what they are now, so it makes it more exciting to see what's going to happen. So yeah.
Okay. Ola?
Yeah, well, similar to Henry. I've been banging this drum for a long time. I just think it's an organization run by an incompetent head who was a bad referee when he was refereeing. And of course, PJMOL, they've not shown any sign of improvement. I have not seen the Man United penalty decision, but I believe everybody that, yes, it was a shocking decision, because if fans of other teams are not even United fans are saying this was not a penalty, then that shows something, right? But in addition to that, somebody sent me a picture. Of course, for people who are listening, they won't say it. They sent a picture to me, and there's maybe you can't see it properly on the screen. There's a picture of the VAR guy. I think this from the match today. He had his Fantasy Premier League open on his phone when he should be doing VAR duties. Somebody sent me this picture. I think this is from today's game. This is an indication of what myself and Harry are talking about. You're supposed to be VAR for this big top of the table game, and you're checking Fantasy Premier League on the side, and the camera caught you. Is that not what we are saying? Is that not incompetence? You can't even wait till after the game. You can't wait till after the game. You are checking that. So what's the evidence that you're not missing stuff that is going on the pitch when you are busy checking your FPL score on the phone during the seriously?
Is that true, or that could be fake?
No, I don't think.
No, the picture is true.
I don't think it's fake. I think it was not during our game.
I think because somebody somebody sent this to me. I don't think it's fake.
Yeah, it's almost like doing surgery and you're playing Call of Duty at the same time.
These people are incompetent, really. They're my donkeys, and they will be my donkeys for a long time. Of course, I have different donkeys, but for this one, donkey. Kudos of the week, Lewandowski. People will know I love goal scorers. I love people that put the ball in the net, and I always give them their credit. And for him to still be doing it at age 36, going to 37, it's true. He missed some chances yesterday. To be fair, Dyer was right. He did. I remember he did miss like 2 other, but strikers miss chances all the time. No, I think even Messi at his peak, maybe his goal ratio was like maybe 27, 30-something%. That means he was missing 70% of his shots at goal. So yeah, they're not going to score every shot at goal. But Lewandowski at this age, and for being able to reinvent himself with flick factor, kudos to him.
Okay. Let's take the kudos from the crowd online. Yemi says kudos to Flick. Donkey is of course Ten Hag. Patrick says Donkey, Ineos. Kudos Flick. Dio says Donkey Company and Salihamidzic, who fired him. I guess who fired Flick.
Company got fired?
Dio says
no Flick.
No, talking about that for Bayern board, right? For firing Hansi Flick from Bayern.
I'm like, I didn't see that.
Kudos,
sorry about that.
Can I give a honorary shout out?
Donkey Company and fired. Okay, go ahead.
Can I give a honorary shout out?
Sure, you can.
Yeah, honorary shout out to Clarence Seedorf. He played like the next icon game, and
You started clips.
the things that guy did in that game, because it was like a defenders versus attackers type match, and what that guy did at his age. Listen, some teams can still use him right now. That's all I can tell you.
I went to show with mine. I think my kudos is kind of a left field, but maybe not really left field. I'm going to break my own rules when I say just one per person, but I'm going to break it. My kudos goes to a double kudos to I know Chris Wood, and Espirito Santos of Nottingham Forest with the Johnny Man squad, because they literally have a Johnny Man squad full of players that reject from everywhere. He's moved them. I think they are 6 now. I know they were 50 yesterday, but I think they are 6 now. Yeah. 6 on the table, doing very well. Only 1 loss, and maximizing his resources. I always like when I see managers are maximizing their resources. So I think they get my kudos. I think Flick. I think for Donkey, we've mentioned the 2 I had in my head, which is VAR and the racist chance to Yamal during the game. So that's it. That's it from us. Davido, thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you, man. You guys take care, right? See you guys later, man.
All right.
Hey, just want to say one thing, man. So, back in the days, used to be Tiki Taka. Now it's Flicky Flaka.
Boys will be waiting for you. They'll be waiting for you, Benvito. If this doesn't go well for you this season.
Hey, that's what I said in the group yesterday. If Barca lost the game, this dude, will be sending me a text message like in 5 minutes. I'm like, yo, hold up, we won. Where's my invite at?
Yeah, don't worry.
I got you, man. So
that's a good way to end the show. So we are out, and today was the Flicky Flaka show, like you said. Take care, everyone. We are out.
All right, bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is your city thing will reach your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go. You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is your city thing will reach your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. You're watching Footy Fantasy.